The channel. Okay, so Bitcoin has pulled off this move. If you were watching, or if you've seen my short that I posted yesterday, I was talking about the VIX in relation to Bitcoin and what to expect. I was looking, and I'm still looking at the 28.5 as a possible zone that we may come into after this, because basically the 28.5 was the next zone of interest, or as you may call it, a long zone of consolidation somewhere around here. If we come there, this is on the hourly, that will be strong support. If we don't get a bounce there, then there are other levels to look for. Now, when you look at the VIX, I was just taking a look at this today. I mean, yesterday when I posted my short, and if you did, you would know what I was expecting. I was expecting low. I was expecting 28.5, but so far we've got to 28.8, and we'll get back to that in a minute. The levels that the VIX is in, that's the volatility index, or the S&P 500. We are at the lows of 1617, and if you look left, the last time the VIX was here, literally at this candle, we were at January 22, and at the same respect, we were here during end of October and beginning of November 2021, and we all know what happened to Bitcoin. So if you look at this, when the VIX was at its peak, was at the lows, and then we spiked up here, but we were at this region in November 2021. And if you go back to Bitcoin, if you don't remember what happened in November 2021, I'm not saying that could happen again, but we need to have all probabilities and have an open mind on what could happen. This was Bitcoin in November 2021, and we tumbled down. Now, this doesn't have to happen this time. It doesn't have to repeat itself, but I'm looking at patterns and the chart and how is it behaving. On the longer time frame, on the daily, this is our support, 28.5. If we lose a 28.8, if you go on the hourly, you'll see how disgusting this was. I mean, these two wicks over here on the hourly, you could see this was a 28.8 low, and this low was a 28.8. And there's a good chance if we do come down here, we may break it and go to the 28.5. Now, 28.7 is the middle of this range. I had this channel for a while. We were in it. We broke up, deviated, and we're back in it. And I told you if we get back in it, we would be sort of leaning bearish. We are at support 29,020, which was previous kind of support where we bounced off here. But the 28.5 region is so important, because once we broke this big range that we were stuck in between, let's go back and see how long were we in this range. I would say roughly between the 17th of March all the way to somewhere around 10th of April. That's a long time. If we get back into there, we may range for a while if we don't just slip out or bounce up. Now, what I'm looking at the market, this usually happens, and I always mention it in my streams. Easy move up, easy move down. We always have these moves. So even on smaller time frames, higher time frame, when you see a deviation without significant consolidation, depending on what time frame you're looking at, expect a return. Now we had this up, and we had this, and I mentioned this in my video, we had an insufficiency from down here, the 29 all the way up. And if you want to go even lower, from the 28.5 region all the way up. Now it looks like we're coming to recover that, and we need to really hold this big zone. It's going to be a significant zone we may bounce from. You could see we are holding the wicks of this high. We're up here. If we slip in, then there's a risk of coming to this range or even lower. If you lose the 28.5, what zones are you looking at? Now, given that if the VIX doesn't bounce off, because the VIX is at it's very extended to the downside. So if the VIX decides to bounce up, then Bitcoin might not stand a chance, and because the traditional markets, the SPY will be going down, and Bitcoin being correlated with the SPY and the Nasdaq, we might find some more down momentum. But I'm looking at 28.7, 28.5 mainly, but 28.7 could be a zone, the mid of this range. And if we lose that, then we're coming down to the 27K region, possibly the 27,435, where we had this line over here marked out for this zone. And yeah, basically that's what I'm looking at Bitcoin. And I won't cover the alts because the alts sometimes, I mean, most of the times will follow what Bitcoin would do because it has a larger market cap, even though sometimes we see Bitcoin holding, alts pumping, and vice versa. That's because the money goes in and out between the coins, people buying here, selling there. Now this 1 hourly candle so far is looking really strong, and it looks like it's coming back to recover this wick. If we don't stop here at the middle of the wick, we are coming down, and if we don't hold it, as you can see, we are moving fast. We could be coming all the way to 28.7, and that will be a zone to watch. You lose that 28.5, you lose that, definitely you're coming down to these lower ranges. Now, another thing you need to be aware of, the VWAP is at 25.241. Big institutions like selling above the VWAP and buying below the VWAP. Is it possible to come down to 25.2 again? It is very possible, but as I mentioned, on the 4 hourly, let's go back to the 4 hourly. I'll show you this on the daily even for more clarity. We had a quick move up from here, 2 days, and now we're having one recovery. Now what could happen on the hourly, this could happen. We have a double bottom over here. Are we going to have a third touch and bounced off? It looks like we're probing this range. We might try to release. If we come down, then we're going to hit the stop losses of these buyers here at 28.8, and that liquidity could make us bounce again, or we may release further. Now, if we bounce, we might be doing the same move in reverse as we did. We came down on the daily, you saw that. Now we might do that. Over here, we have this move down, very quick move, come up, recover it, maybe hit the 50% of it halfway through the 29.5 range, which is a strong resistance. We know that by looking left. You could see on this range, 29.5 is a nice zone of resistance. And we also would have, I believe, would have the 50 EMA coming in at around 29.675 on the hourly. On the 4 hourly, it might be a bit higher. Now if we go to smaller time frames, 15-minute, so you see this on the 15-minute, we have a new 15-minute candle. Will it follow through to the downside? If it won't follow through, it will bounce. As you can see, as long as we're below this cloud, the 50 EMA cloud, then there is no reason to be bearish. If we are able to break and confirm a breakout out of this, then you can start leaning a bit bullish, possibly for the short term to recover this quick move down. You see over here we had, if we can break the 29.275 and start moving up higher, would come somewhere around here to the halfway through and maybe get rejected, or might continue. But that's the 800 EMA on the 15-minute or the 50 EMA on the 1 hour. But for me, at the moment, as long as the VIX is overextended, I'm expecting the VIX to have a bounce. Maybe in a few days, in a day or two. Tomorrow we have some important news, the unemployment rate, and some more news, and some members of the FOMC are going to be speaking. So we might get some action. I hope you liked the update. If you didn't, you could take a look at the short that I posted yesterday and you would know what I'm talking about. I posted it. Obviously, it's a short. It's less than 1 minute, but it was just a quick update to let people know what to expect today, and that's what happened, or in the next few days. That's it for now. If you haven't already, smash the likes, subscribe to the channel, hit your notifications on, and join the free Discord where I post my trade setups sometimes, and when I don't post videos, I go up in there. And yeah, see you on the next one.